Hello there. I didn't see you standing there. I was just hanging out with my giant bucket of delicious salt. But we'll set that aside and instead talk about what we're going to be cooking today. Today I've got a delicious recipe picked out for you guys. It's simple, it's easy, it's fast, and for the most part it's pretty healthy if you give a shit about that sort of thing. What we're going to be making is broccoli bacon rice bowls. With just a couple of ingredients, we're going to be able to cook up something that is insanely delicious, and I think all of you out there are really going to enjoy. So this is a pretty simple recipe, but not all of this is super necessary. So the key ingredients are your rice, your bacon, your broccoli, and your egg, and of course soy sauce. This sesame oil is delicious. It's gonna add a really nice kind of Asian flavor to it that I really love. You can skip it if you don't have it, but you can buy a bottle of that and it'll last you absolutely forever. Also, we have some pickled jalapeno peppers. These are great because they're a little bit more mild than regular jalapenos. So those will just add some delicious fucking flavor in the end. Then we've got some cilantro and some green onion to put on at the end. I love these flavors. I think they add a ton to the dish. So these three things are seasonings that you can put on at the end. But if you don't have those in your kitchen right now, don't let that stop you from making the recipe. The rest of it's gonna be really good. If you like to add a little bit of heat too, you can add some crushed red pepper as well. Use what you have. If you don't have fancy rice or you're missing one or two of these ingredients, as long as it's not a key staple, go ahead and make it. You'll still fucking love it, and you'll have a delicious meal. The first thing I'm gonna teach you guys today, and the basis of this recipe, is how to cook your rice. Now, for some fucking reason, the idiots at All Recipes, which is a trash website, and is the first Google result to pop up when you type in how much water to use with my rice, tell you to use a 2-to-1 mixture with your rice. That's water to rice, which is bullshit. If you're using a 2-to-1 mixture to your rice, you're gonna end up with some soggy, disgusting rice. So the first thing to know is you actually wanna use a 1.5-to-1 mixture with your rice. A great tool to have in your kitchen, as well as for slaying in weight, is a scale. This is gonna help you get a much more precise mixture of rice to water. Because when you pour it in there, you never know exactly how much you're gonna get. So what I'm gonna do is actually add 400 grams of rice. There we go. And that means that we're gonna need 600 grams of water. So we're gonna do a 1 to 1.5 ratio of rice to water. And by doing it like this, we're gonna be able to get it very precise. The next step is to rinse your rice under cold water. This is gonna remove some of the starchiness, I believe, and the things that are gonna make the rice clumpy and stick together later. So you can do this in a bowl if you don't have a mesh strainer. Do it about 3 times in a bowl, but you're really just gonna wanna make sure that you rinse off all the weird outer stuff on the grains of rice. I don't know the fucking technical term. It's something, right? Trust me, you wanna do it. Go ahead and give your rice that nice, delicious rinsing. It's an important step. Don't skip it, and make sure you're using cold water. You don't want the rice to start getting hot and cooking before it's ready to go. You gotta use cold water to do your rinse. Make sure you get it all up in there. All right, well, it's starting to run clear and my arm's getting sore of doing this. So that means it's done. Okay, we've got 600 grams of water to our 400 grams of rice. Now I'm making a double batch of rice here because I'm actually gonna save half of it to make fried rice tomorrow. Fried rice is usually best made with leftover rice. So if I'm gonna be cooking rice, which I kinda hate doing, I'm always gonna make a double batch and then make fried rice later. So first I'm gonna hit it with a little bit of salt from my giant bucket of salt here. And then I'm gonna add my 600 mils of water. Grams. Mils and grams are the same thing. Okay. You want to bring it up to a boil as quickly as you can, then immediately turn it down and put it on a simmer for about 12 to 15 minutes. You're going to want to use a pot that has a tightly fitting lid because the rice actually cooks through steam. So if you don't have a lid and you don't generate that steam, your rice isn't gonna cook very well. So I'm gonna bring this up to a boil and bring it down to a simmer and then get started with the rest of our meal. All right, so here's the high level plan. We got the rice on, that's coming up to a boil. And all we're gonna do now is we're gonna cook our bacon, take the bacon out, use that grease to cook our broccoli. Then we're gonna hit the broccoli with a little bit of water and then use that to make our sauce in with our soy sauce and a little bit of the sesame oil. You're basically good to go. Use that on the rice, cook an egg, put the egg on top, season it, and you're done. So it's very simple. So let's get in and start cooking the bacon. All right, here's a couple thoughts on cooking bacon. Don't go too hot with it. If you want nice, flat, crispy strips of bacon, you're going to want to keep it on a medium, even a medium-low heat. I like to do medium so it cooks relatively fast. You don't want to crowd the pan too much. This is about as much bacon as you want in a pan at one time. You don't want them overlapping. Additionally, I like to start my bacon in actually a cold pan. What this is going to do is let some of the fat render out as it comes up to temperature. If you put it in a super hot pan, some of that fat's not going to get a good chance to render out, and we're going to use that fat to cook in later. So I like to start in a little bit of a colder pan, let the fat render out, and bring it up to temperature. All right, you can see my rice here is coming up to a boil. So we're gonna wanna put that down real quick. So we're gonna put that on our simmer. We're gonna get our lid on, and we're gonna let that steam on low heat now. All right, back to bacon. So you're actually gonna wanna flip your bacon quite a bit as you're cooking it. If one side gets significantly hotter than the other, that's how your bacon ends up curling up, and then you end up with those weird uncooked parts of bacon that are just kind of fatty and chewy and kind of gross. Whereas, you know, I prefer that nice, flat, crispy bacon, that good shit, that delicious bacon. I'm gonna be flipping this actually quite a bit as it cooks here. Once you see that delicious color start coming in, and these white bubbles forming on top, that means the fat is basically entirely rendered out, starting to get really good, and that means you're almost done. You don't want to get your bacon all the way to the color you want it to be in the pan. You want to pull it off just before you like it, because we're going to move this to some paper towels, and it's actually going to keep cooking because it's so hot. So you want to get it about 90% of the way there, and then let it finish firming up and finish cooking on the paper towels. All right, those are looking perfect. What I'm gonna do is take these and put them onto a paper towel lined plate. And we're gonna use these again at the end of our meal. You're gonna wanna pat these down so they aren't all greasy and gross, and they'll be ready to go. Now, you can see we have a ton of bacon grease in here. Now, if you wanna go healthy, you can dump, I don't know, half this out, leave maybe a tablespoon, 2 tablespoons. I'm gonna dump out just a tiny bit because I like cooking my broccoli in a shit ton of fucking bacon grease. But take out as much bacon grease as you think is necessary. I'm just gonna do a little bit. All right, so you can see I emptied out about this much. I'm gonna strain it and save it for later. We're gonna get our broccoli going. I'm gonna hit it with a little salt. Hit it with a little pepper. Hit it with a little crushed red. Little spice. Oh, baby, that smells so good. So good, so good. So we're just gonna cook this up until it starts getting a little bit brown, okay? So you just want to see some of those black spots, those char marks. That's what we're shooting for with the broccoli. As for our rice here, it's been about 12 minutes of steaming. You can tell most of the water has been cooked out. So you want to keep an eye on it. Having a glass lid is obviously helpful. You never want to take the lid off. And you can actually see, I stick a paper towel in here because this pot has a spout and that lets some of the steam out and you don't want any steam getting out. So I actually use this paper towel trick to not let any out. But I can tell that most of the water has been absorbed at this point. It's basically doubled in size. So I think this rice is pretty much good to go. I'm gonna take this off the heat. I know I said 15 minutes before, but it's been 12. It looks perfect. I'm gonna take it off the heat. I'm gonna put it just at the back of the stove here, and I'm gonna let that hang out for basically until the rest of my food is done cooking. All right, back on my broccoli bullshit. You can see that this is really starting to crisp up nice. You can see we've got some nice char marks in there. It's cooking good. All that bacon grease has been absorbed. So now what we're gonna do is hit it with about 3/4 cups of water. That's gonna deglaze the pan a little bit, get all those chunky bits up. And we're just gonna cook this broccoli for maybe 2-3 minutes. The goal is to just reduce down this water, okay? So this water is gonna be the foundation of our sauce that we're gonna put in later. So we're just gonna cook this down a little bit. You got the pepper and the salt in there. Oh, it smells so fucking good. You guys are gonna love this, I promise. So just cook this shit down. You see how it's getting all murky, picking up that stuff? Look at that fucking shit. Oh my God. All right, so we're gonna cook this down maybe 3 minutes or so. Then get ready to add the soy sauce and the sesame oil. So you can see how much it's reduced. We got a couple tablespoons of water in there. So what we're gonna do now is come and hit it with like a half teaspoon of sesame oil. Okay, this sesame oil, little bit goes a long way. So hit it with a little bit of that. And then maybe like 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. I mean, who's counting? I like soy sauce, gives a nice salty flavor. You know, fucking do what you want. It's your dish. Oh my God, all right. So immediately all those smells are coming through, and you're just gonna stir this up, and then it's time to take it off the heat, and then we're gonna add our rice to the bowl, and then put this on, and we'll be good to go. So I'm just gonna take this off the heat now, and divide it up. Have our rice fresh off the thing. I'm gonna give it a good fluff in here. Oh my God, you see how fluffy that rice is? My guys, look at how fluffy and perfect that rice is. Can you imagine putting 2-to-1 ratio of water in there like a fucking idiot? No, you couldn't, 'cause that's wrong. I'm teaching you guys how to do it right. All right, so you're gonna come in here. Oh my God. Look at how fucking delicious and fluffy that fucking rice is. Now we've got our delicious cooked up broccolis. So it's gonna put some of this broccoli in there. All right, beautiful. And then you got these fucking juices, baby. That's why we make this happen. You hit that. Boom, you hit that motherfucker with the pan juices. That's what you want. You can stir that up, you'll be good to go. Final step, well, second final step is we're gonna cook up our egg. We got our hot pan back on the stove. We're gonna come in here with another teaspoon of our sesame oil. Pan's already nice and hot. This is the same pan we were cooking in. Oh yeah, we're gonna get those juices going. And then into that, we're gonna crack 2 eggs, my guy. Or 1 egg per meal. I'm cooking for 2 here, so 2 eggs for me. But do what you want. If you wanna put fucking half a dozen eggs in there, I don't give a shit. So these are gonna cook super duper fast. This is a nice hot pan. We got a nice hot stove. We're gonna be cooking here, my guys. All right, so what we're waiting for basically is this top part to turn white, which it looks like it has. As you can see, them yolks got that jiggle. All right, straight Nicki Minaj status. I'm gonna try not to break them. Oh baby, oh baby. All right, and what I'm gonna do is come in here, bam, egg on top. All right, my guys, you put the egg on the top and then finish it off with a little seasoning. Oh shit, we gonna be good to go. Now to finish it off, we got our bacon. We just gonna stick the bacon in there. Just like that. Then we're gonna have some of our finely chopped cilantro. That just goes on top like that. Then we've got our green onions, or our grunions, or your scallions, what have yous. And then finally, some of our delicious pickled jalapenos. Oh shit, that looks so good. That looks so good. And there you have it, my dudes. That is, oh, fuck it. Too little bacon there. Let's do the money shot there. All right, and there you have it. That is a delicious broccoli bacon rice bowl. Let's give it a shot and see how it tastes. It's time to crack this yolk. Oh baby, you see that running? You want to let that run all up in there. Give this a chop. Make sure you get that sauce all mixed through. Oh. Get some bacon in there. Oh my god. The seasoning from the soy sauce and the sesame oil. You can taste it. The egg is delicious. The bacon's delicious. The broccoli's delicious. It's all fucking gravy, baby. Now piss off and cook. Alright, if you made it this far, I fucking appreciate it. Now if you do one more thing for me, this is my passion, I love fucking doing this, I spend a shitload of time and effort on these videos. If you go ahead and share this video for me, just throw it on your Facebook, whatever, fuck it. If you don't want to, I mean, don't, but if you do, if you like the content, if you like what I'm doing, if you could share this for me, it would mean the fucking world to getting this out here, and I'd fucking appreciate it. Now truly, piss off and cook.